them down and I was like, I have something to tell you. My mom thought I was pregnant, so surprise. And welcome to our YouTube channel. I'm Holly and today I don't have Paige with me. It's time for my coming out story and I've picked the gayest shirt I own for the occasion, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I didn't have a crazy or dramatic coming out story. My parents have always been very accepting of the LGBTQ community and I never once doubted that if and when I was going to come out to them that anything would change. So for me, my story is not necessarily about the struggle to come out to your family, but mine was more so the struggle to come out to myself. I guess we'll start from the beginning. Growing up, I was very tomboyish. I loved playing sports, I hated wearing dresses, the point where people are sort of getting with each other. I found myself like having girl crushes, and by that I mean that I admired certain girls so much. I loved how confident they were, I loved how they handled themselves. All these things that didn't really click at the time, I always felt more connected to girls in every way. So I guess it was around the time, maybe when I was about 16. Now I had dated a couple guys. I found myself getting bored of them really easily, and then I found like if I went on a date with them or if I hung out with them alone, that just dissipated very quickly. I would find myself like thinking of ways I could leave or make an excuse so I didn't even have to go, and it wasn't really nerves, it was just the fact that I didn't want to do it. At this point now, I'm thinking that like it's me. I can't connect with guys. Maybe it's because they're so immature at that age and I felt more mature. I felt like I couldn't connect with them because of that and not the fact that they're a guy. I was into girls, but we'll get to that later. The first time I was with a girl was when I was 16. She was one of my best friends and it was that night for me that changed everything else. When I kissed her, I felt the excitement. I felt what my other friends were telling me it felt like with their boyfriends. I felt insecure for once with myself, and I'd never been in that position before where I was actually interested in someone. I still consider myself straight, so straight. I told myself that it was the excitement that made me feel these things because it was new and it was different. I sort of tried to justify ways that I could enjoy it without labeling myself as something else. But as time went on with her, it became undeniable, I would say. Anytime I was with a guy afterward, whenever I was thinking if I liked someone, it never was at the level that I liked her. And at this point, like, I'm extremely close with my family, and I don't know why I didn't tell them. I had always been very strong and very level-headed and put together, and for the first time in my life I felt out of control, and I didn't want them to see that side of me because I didn't like that side of me. So instead I kept it to myself until I could figure out a way to get it together in my head, and then when I explain it to them, then I would be level-headed. I'm about 18, 19 now, very confused. I would Google, so embarrassing. I would Google, if I make out with my best friend, does that make me gay? And read all the comments, and people would be like, you're just experimenting, sweetie, it's fine. And I'd be like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. But like I said, it got to a point where I was picking up on signs now that I was older. On TV, if there was ever a lesbian character on it, you know, and sort of connect with her character more than anybody else. I wouldn't even like the show, but it had a lesbian character in it, so I'd sit through and wait to see how her story unfolded. I didn't have any gay icons. I didn't see myself in any of them, so it was hard for me to identify as anything other than straight. When I went into university now, I was very confused about the girl. We were trying to be friends, but it wasn't working. It wasn't who I was, and so I wanted to get as far away from her and my feelings for her as possible. So I put my energy into socializing and making friends and being really good at school, and thank God I did. Just channel that shit feeling and make something of it. So in university, I was now seeing more mature guys. Everything you could want, and it still wasn't there. I don't have any excuses left. The fact is that I liked girls, and the other girl messed me up a bit because I justified it to myself as she was the exception. I was straight, but with her, I had that connection with her, but that was it. It wouldn't be with another girl. So to test the theory, I downloaded Tinder and started building up my confidence with girls. Now I could acknowledge that I was excited if I matched with a girl. I was like, okay, it wasn't just her. Basically what I'm trying to get at is it was a process. I was 16 the first time I was with that girl, and now I'm 20, 21, finally figuring out that, okay, maybe this is something. Not even out at 21. It took me 5 years to feel comfortable enough to admit it to myself. Now I'm starting to tell friends. It's just sort of like, I don't know what I am, but I know I had this experience and I feel this way about girls, so love me or leave me sort of thing. I was very fortunate to have a supportive group around me. They said the way I told them, they thought I was deathly ill. How dramatic it was, because I sat them down and like was crying. I did have negative outcomes with a few people. Some told me I was a waste. Some told me that it's probably a phase. I think if I had come out to those people when I wasn't as sure as I was at that instance, that it would have knocked my confidence and it would have made me question all over again. But at this point, it had been 5 years of me knowing exactly what's going on in my head. So for me to have told you 10 seconds ago and then you stick this label on me, f you guys. Anyone that tells you that you're this or you're that, pay them no mind. Paige is my first serious girlfriend. She's who I came out with to my parents. So you know how things develop with Paige. If you don't, check out our How We Met video. It came to the time where now I'm at home, I want to tell them I'm with a girl who I care about so much. And the reason why I waited to come out to my parents for so long is because it's hard to explain to somebody something that you don't understand yourself. Something that took me 5 or 6 years to wrap my head around. How am I supposed to convey that to my parents in a positive way? And for me, you know, the 5 years leading up to it was up and down. It wasn't all positive. It was hard at times. And I didn't want them to think of this as a negative thing in my life. I wanted them to be on board and just see it for what it was, which is finally me being happy and me being in a confident place. I waited until I fully felt like I wasn't questioning anymore and I was just so happy. So I sat them down and I was like, I have something to tell you. My mom thought I was pregnant. So, surprise, I told her that I'm in a serious relationship, and that threw her off as well. So she's like, oh, what's his name? I was like, her name is Paige. It was like silent for a second or two, and my mom was like, okay, tell me about her. And my dad was so good, and they were just asking me all about her. And I sort of said, like, if you have any questions for me, just ask. They've taken Paige in as their own. I've never been so happy in my life. If I could give any advice, I would say that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to question and figure out what you like. But if you don't feel comfortable, wait till you're comfortable. If you will never feel comfortable, but you need an outlet, find an outlet. Coming out is a journey. Even now, I'm not fully comfortable holding Paige's hand in public. Each day, I'm getting more confident and more comfortable. I'm starting to see more gay couples, men and women, out there. You just have to live your life. I guess one quick tip I found really helpful when I came out is that if you're unsure how people are going to react, bring up things in the news. Bring up pride. Just get the conversation going and see what their reaction is, because you can tell people are very opinionated one way or another. If they're very positive towards gay culture, great, you know, you've got an ally. If they're not, get new friends. Life's too short. I love that we have this outlet to be able to share our stories with you. I hope that I have helped one person. I know how hard it is, even with an accepting family. I promise you that the feeling you get inside when you come to terms with it and you tell one person and they make you feel like it's okay, it makes it worth it. Okay guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was scary to film, but I'm glad I did it. I hope that you can just take one thing from this video and that I can help one person. I'll see you in the next video with Paige. I missed her. I bet you guys did too. Okay, bye.